afternoon, everyone. Today is Saturday, October the 1st, around 3 p.m. New York time. Another month is coming in, another month is gone. So we got a good September. During September, as you guys know, we did 12 trade. We got 10 winners, 2 losers. The most of the losers were 16 picks. So we can know, that was a good month. About 500 picks in profit. And now let's see if we can keep going for this October month. Now, the trend, very clear, is in favor of the dollar. Any trade that you guys take against the dollar, I want you guys to understand, it's a contra trend trade. It's a contra trend trade, and you guys need to know how to margin in and leverage that trade in order not to be burned by the trend. Now, this is the US dollar index in an 8-hour chart, as you guys see right there. The counts that been following is been working like a machine. Very easy. 1 2 1 2 1 2. When we got 1 2 3 4 5, this is the 2618, I believe. No, the 4.236 is right here. A 3802 on the decline right here, and then at the top right here we got the 2618 right there. And then we were expecting last week the correction on the dollar, as we covered on the seminar on Sunday. Now it's very interesting because it looks like the dollar retrieved from the 23.6 area around 77 and the top of the previous wave 3, and it looks impulsive to the upside. Now there is still a chance that it can be a flat and you can get 3, 3 and 5 to the area that we were waiting last week around 76, 77 area. But it can be a chance also that this is all we're gonna get in the proposal wavefall. If that's been the case, now the dollar should trade minimum to 79.29, 79.23, and in extension the dollar can extend to these levels. First is 5 equals 1 at 79.32, and then another higher point that the dollar can go is to the 618 or 13 that comes an 80.65 area. Now that's in an 8-hour. What's gonna happen after? Let's say that we did a 3, a 4 and a 5 to a level something like 79.81, 79.80, 80.23 should be a good place to sell the dollar. After that, what we're gonna get is another correction on the dollar, and then from that we're gonna see a move higher that is gonna end a cycle that started at the 72.40 area, and then consequently it's gonna create a huge bottom in the US dollar index. So that's the dollar in the 8-hour. Now if we take a look at the dollar in 1 hour, this is how we see it. This is the dollar in the 1 hour, the 3, the 4, 1 2 3. When I say about the flat, is the case that from here the pair dropped. Most likely won't be the case. I'm expecting sellers around 79, 78, 82 area. I'm expecting sell it. This move looks very much work completed, and then if that's the case, we're gonna see a 3-way back in the dollar, and then another move higher in the 5th wave from here. Any 5th wave from here technically is the end of this 5th wave, and then the dollar is gonna get weak again before getting strong again. Now where we are right now, let me show you something so you guys have an idea. We should be right here, someplace around here, from the bottom. Look, this is the end of the wave 4 of the previous wave 4, and you see the 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same here. You need to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before a significant bottom. Like I say, that the first level that you guys need to take into consideration here on the dollar is the inverse 1.236 that comes on 79.23 area. From there, you have to see, if you see 5 waves coming to that level, that's the top of this wave 4, wave 3, and then the dollar is gonna go down. Now, that's for the dollar. Going around Cooper, we can see on the weekly chart, we can see that, remember, Cooper is poised to a big decline, technically confirming that the world economy, that's what's going to happen. Now, if we go to the 4-hour chart on Cooper, from the top, we are in a wave 4 with a target to the downside around 2.7978. This is telling me that the metals pairs like Aussie, New Zealand, and the CAD also should be in a final state of a move that started around this area. Now, this is very extended, and we are considering like the idea of the truncation wave 5 right here, and then this being 1, 2, and then that goes pretty well with the counts that we're gonna show you guys in a few minutes. But in Cooper, a cycle should end around 279, 280 area before the bounce. Now, oil. In oil, we are expecting a decline. Now the question is this all we're gonna get in wave 2, or we're gonna get a C wave before going lower? Now, this is something that I want to point you guys out, is this. The market looks to be in the edge or a further dollar strength or risk aversion, or the market is in the possibility of a C wave flat, like something like this case is not a flat. Oh yeah, it can be counted as a flat when we got 3, 3, and a C wave high. The same happening with the dollar, when the dollar, the euro, all those pairs can be in the same scenario, believe it or not. So with that in mind, you guys need to be careful about it. You gotta be careful about the idea that the market can be in that stage, and then it can be a huge threat to the dollar bulls in some degree. That do not say that the trend is in favor of the dollar. The trend is completely in favor of the US dollar. Now that there are sub-cycles and cycles within the trend that can create this type of movement, right? So keep that in mind. I can show you that path in several pairs. Look at oil, how this looks like a 3-way, and I'm inclining to see the first leg right here being also a 3-way. So that's very suspicious there. The trend in oil is to the downside, also the same with all the metals. All right, now let's move on a little fast to the individual pairs. Okay, right here what we're gonna see is this is the US dollar index on the daily. The US dollar index on the daily. This is the path that I was mentioned when I was on the 8 hours. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ending wave 3 with the next high, and then a correction now should happen and should respect the area around 76.23 area. I keep saying that the 80 area should be a good resistance in this index. Now after that we should get 3 backs and going higher. But let me be clear, guys, all we got is 1, 2, 3 waves from the lows. Illusion that the bottom is in place. One of the most difficult patterns to be predicted. This was amazing right here. This summer was amazing for the dollar, but we're getting extension, and that's all we need. Now, going to the pairs, let's start with the euro dollar. In the case of the euro dollar, we having two counts to be with it. The first one is this one, A, B, C, W, S, and we end in A, B, and we are in the and a C way down that should end around 128.92, 129.50 area. That's one of the counts. The second count is, as you guys saw on the video, is a pair on a nest from the top when you got 1, 2, and then you got 1, 2, 1. It's too many nests. It's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then from there it goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We end here the first net, a 4, a series of nests. You guys gonna check, but we're gonna go as a principle for now. We're gonna go with this one. So what we are expecting is, in some degrees, the euro dollar wins. Now, I say in some degrees because of this, because if you guys take a look at the 4-hour chart, this right here, it looks separate. I got enough separation, but what we got from the top is nothing more than 3 waves, 1, 2, 3. So still can be the possibility of a flat. That wave Z that I keep mentioning that I see in oil and S&P, that wave Z in risk is still present around the market, and I want you guys to understand that at this stage it's very difficult to enter the market either way. So if you got it from here, leave it to the downside, because technically it looks impulsive to the downside. Going back to the 1 hour on the euro dollar, this is what you got. You got, let's say that this is the B, and then you got 1, 2, and then you see the nest on the top, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and you see the resolution of the nest. Now we already have divergency on the lows right here, so either a bouncing wave 4 or a bouncing Z should happen around current levels, or maybe a little bit lower, around 133.36 area, something like that, before a significant bounce or a bounce should happen. They say that happened for around these levels, and then you got a trace right here. If you see that this area around 135.15 is taken to the outside before breaking the low, start buying the euro, guys, because then the euro is gonna go to 138 area, something 139. So keep that in mind. That's a possibility that the flag can be in place. Now let's keep going, and let's go to the New Zealand dollar. The New Zealand dollar looks like it's following this path, and most of the US dollar doing something like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. We should get lowers to around 74 and change, a bounce, and a series of 3, 4 that we're gonna be tracking to serve this pair. Too much extension here, but again, 1, 2, 3 waves. Now if we get more extension, then you're gonna start thinking even more lowers, like we presented on the technical count the other days on this pair. Now Aussie, which is another metal, can be showing same. This is on the daily. Yeah, can be showing the same scenario. And let me show you the 4-hour. When you can see the same path on the nest, you say 1 of A, 2 of V, and then from the top 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4. And guys, let me tell you something. Is either this or this was an extended wave 1 or a C. This is A and bouncing. This can be counted as an ending diagonal or can be counted as a double zigzag as it stays. So technically is the Aussie is gonna look for 94, or Aussie is gonna bounce here before keep going lower. But I would say this, most of the dollar pairs, they already have a bottom or have a top. Now, one pair that is taking my attention in the short time frame, because the Singapore dollar right here, if you guys look at it, it's on like every dollar pair in the same stage. That's what we call that the market is at the edge. Why? Because technically, look, 1 2 1 2 3 4 with an extended 5 F4. It looks like this pair is possible ahead of the path, because most of the dollar pairs can be labeled to be in wave 3 of ending wave 3 within the dollar. The Singapore dollar looks to be have ended already that wave 3, and now should be probably within the 4. That's why out of the dollar pairs, the Singapore dollar is the one that is lagging the rest of the pairs. So keep that in mind, and this is something that is being brought to my attention right here with this Singapore dollar, and then maybe it's leading the dollar index, but maybe because I see this kind of corrective in some degrees right there. Now taking a look at the 1 hour chart on the same Singapore dollar, you guys can see right here how corrective it looks from the bottoms. The best count for me is 2 equal legs right here, W, S, and then another 2 legs more. When if you put the RSI already, it's giving you divergency against the W. So that's very interesting right there, and that can be the one that is showing that we are in a flat. But again, I don't want to call it flat. I would rather wait and look for labels to get invalidated before taking a decision to go long risk for a C wave movement. So that's very interesting right there, and that's being brought to my attention that out of the whole dollar group, this one, it looks to be the one leading the path, and second, the recovery and loose corrective. So it's very interesting right there, that pair right there. Now what else? The euro pound, we are presenting 2 counts. This is on the daily. This one is calling for like more downside within this move that started last week, and then that can be seen also this way. Very good count presented by the member, which is A, B, C, a V in a way of a triangle, and then A, B, and then we're heading lower in 5 ways, looking for 84.44. This count is the one that goes with the euro dropping to around 121, 129, 131 area. This is the count that support that move. Now, but if you take a look at the 1 hour of the euro pound, what we see is, with a little more detail, we see 3 weights high to here, and then still hard for me to define this as an impulse. Why? Because I have A, B, Z. It's a 3-way move onto here, and then 3 ways back, very iffy. So this count is calling also for the C way higher on the risk. It's a 50-50 proposition at this stage, guys. That's all I can say. Now the S&P. I think that the S&P is either in a wave 4 triangle, 1, 2, 3, 4 in a triangle, or is in a wave 2 when we're gonna get a C way high within the correction in an A, B, C, W, S, A, B, C, Y, and from there we're gonna see a decline. If it's a nest, it's gonna be brutal what we're gonna get to the downside. If it's a 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5, and then we're gonna see a recovering risk, and then after is the when we're gonna see the huge decline on the S&P. Okay, what else I want to show you guys? Okay, here we go. Gold looks to be in a wave 4 of either a flat or the first leg from the top, but still I see at least 1-2 more lows before this structure that started at 1923 is completed right there with gold. Finally, let me take a look to the Euro CAD that I want to show you guys, which is providing a hint that maybe more downside in the euro is coming, and there is no a flat. Look, you can see, like we mentioned the other day in the video, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 swings or wave to the outside. If we take a look at the RSI, there is divergency. So this is a great sell for the beginning of the week, selling the euro against the dollar CAD. That's a great sell right there, selling the euro against the CAD. I mean, the risk needs to be 41.31 and an extension 42 or 43 area. But well, either way, I don't think that this high is gonna be breaking in the euro before it declines to at least 137 area. Keep that in mind. That can be the one that's showing the path. It's a very clear structure, 5-way structure. Even if you take a look at that structure in a 1-hour chart, very clear right here. When you got 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5, you're gonna see a momentum divergency there, very clear. Send the 3 of 3. So this should be an extremely good short from current levels, or a little bit higher against 141.31. Right? So with that in mind, guys, we've been all over. Tomorrow we're gonna be more deep in the seminar, but what we see for tomorrow is a market. This is on the edge. The trend is in favor of the dollar, and and then we have 2 ways. The first way is if the dollar is gonna go, if the dollar is gonna break higher, it's gonna test around 79 change 80, and then it's gonna get into another correction to the previous 4, or the dollar can be doing a flat wave 4 when we're gonna see a decline to 76, 77 at the beginning of the week. The clear structure for me is the euro CAD, the one that is showing that the euro against the CAD ends a clear 5-way move from the lows, and should see some weakness on the euro to around the 37 area before any strength in the euro against the CAD. Leave it there. See you guys tomorrow at the seminar.